again, earlier in the call, we talked a little bit about uh, autologous cell therapies, allogeneic cell therapies. Okay, fine. Um, how does and how will automation continue to improve, the CAR T cell process from collection to infusion? We're talking through a little bit here, but I'd love to know even in more detail, specifically as it applies to both autologous and allogeneic. What are your thoughts? Narinder, can you talk us through that?
Yeah, I mean, allogeneic will be the holy grail. You can really change this therapy for and make it even more broadly accessible and rapidly accessible. But at the end of the day, these are potential one and done treatments. So having the drug that is as safe and efficacious as possible is the prime concern. So our core focus, of course, is to making sure the product is as efficacious as possible. And for example, with the D domain technology, we do believe we have that potential. But once you have that a good product, a cell construct, a CAR construct that we're talking about, transferring that process to an allogeneic platform, once those platforms come to age, should be straightforward. I think, and building a automation platform for an allogeneic process in some ways is more akin to what the biologics manufacturing industry has been working for some time. It's a relatively smaller scale than a big bioreactor, but a lot of those concepts around, Craig mentioned earlier, the inline analytics, at-line analytics can be applied there. Automation can be applied for liquid handling and liquid processing. So all in all, I'm pretty excited about that opportunity. Is once we have these products working, how can we turn them into an allogeneic universal product?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's an industry wide, you know, effort here to get to that point from an allogeneic standpoint. Um, Craig, I'd love to hear from your perspective, whether autologous or allogeneic, how automation is improving or will continue to improve the CAR T cell process.
No,
Like I said,
yeah,
from collection.
I think again, there are two different benefits and two different focus areas for the two. Autologous, I still believe the focus is going to have to be getting as many steps out of the hood, inline inline measurements, or at least closed system ability to take measurements and monitor the process and do manipulations. And the automation should be focused on how many concurrent lots can you be operating in the same footprint, which helps the throughput of your commercial facilities at least. Whereas allogeneic, you are going to start focusing on the automation steps that just allow scalability to produce more patients per lot. So those two things are going to be different for the two different therapies. You're going to focus on different individual steps.
Sure, that makes perfect sense. And we cover that on Cell and Gene all the time, exactly what you just mentioned. Um, I want to talk a little bit about AI. I think AI, in whether it be in the cell and gene sector or just in our lives in general, there's talk all over the media, wherever you get your news, wherever you find your credible, resourceful information, um, just the use of AI in general. In what ways might AI optimize automation? Is it currently already happening? What might the next few years look like in terms of AI for automation? Um, just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that. And Craig, if you could give us your thoughts.
Sure. I mean, from my point of view, AI is going to be most useful in actually developing a robust process first, and getting key insights, what makes a robust, predictable, scalable process, and then follow that down to how does AI then increase the ability to pick good analytical techniques, so that you can then automate the process once you have good process understanding and the ability to measure something simple that can help you manipulate the process. Then automation can build from those two things.
Sure. Is there a how in there that our audience might be able to say, okay, from a process development standpoint and AI and marrying the two, what does the how look like right now? And I would pose that question to both of you if anyone wants to take a stab at it.
So at least in my past, is using AI and also just machine learning in general to generate correlations between patient outcome and in-process data, and then in-process data with the donor material. So you at least build some correlation of what matters, then you can start figuring out what automation and what is the meaning or the target for that automation. So for instance, if you find out that it's the time of a step has an impact on the cell health, then you can focus on not just making that step more reproducible, but actually just lowering the mean time of that operation, et cetera.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Narinder, I want to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about your thoughts on AI and automation. So, in what ways might we expect or anticipate that AI is going to impact process development and automation down the road?
Sure. I mean, look, AI is a new frontier, right? We hear about this all the time in the news. I feel like I'm going to have robots running all around me soon. So, but at the same time, we have to be realistic about how these technologies shape, and they may shape in a very unpredictable way, right? The way we have talked about today, automation comes from having a good process in place. A good process comes from having a good fundamental construct in place. So I believe when we designed our D domain, it was all about designing the right construct that could be highly manufacturable. That's one place AI can help us. It can help us aggregate information, translate that information into new insights, new learnings that can allow us to further improve our product constructs. It can allow us to deimmunize our product constructs more efficiently, possibly, than what we've been able to do with the tools available today. On the process side, Craig mentioned that you can work through improving inputs for the cell health. I completely agree. You can implement AI in two ways. You can look at your own development history, process development history, as well as manufacturing history. Today we do data trending, data analysis, but it's pretty limited statistical tools that we use. With AI, I do believe you can actually have a more robust data analysis, both your process development data as well as manufacturing history, and identify improvements or insights that can help you further optimize your process parameters. Then, and the other way AI can help is broadly scanning the industry data that is available. So today, when we go to conferences, we collect all this data, and a lot of those insights are hard to incorporate into your own process. But with artificial intelligence tools, I do believe you can be more efficient in aggregating that information, identifying what can improve the cell growth, cytokine optimization is an example, process steps, process conditions, and all that. So it's quite exciting. While it's exciting, it's also new. And so the level of unpredictability right now, I think it'll take some time before we can truly get the most out of AI. But our near-term focus is really on everything we've been talking about today, so we can deliver our product to patients today.